Hello coaster lovers. So when you go to a park, they might be owned by a specific theme park chain, such as Six Flags, Hershey, and especially Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair operates 11 different theme parks from America to Canada, but today I'm going to talk about one of their flagship parks, Carowinds. Carowinds is located on the border of both Carolinas in Charlotte, and it opened its doors in 1973. In the year of 1993 to the year of 2006, it was operated by Paramount Parks. Then after that, Cedar Fair bought the park and has been beefing it up like crazy. They added rides such as Fury 325 and Copyright Strike. So today, I'm going to take all 14 coasters from this park and rank all of them from worst to best. So before we start, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss out on a single video. So let's get started. Coming up in last place is the Enid Miller Kiddie Coaster, Wilderness Run. This is a kiddie coaster, so it is what it is. If you're familiar with Canyon Blaster at Magic Mountain, it's the exact same ride, but there's nothing to say besides the final bunny hop looks like it has some airtime. So moving along, the next place spot is a disgrace. It's Kitty Hawk. This is a Vekoma suspended family coaster, and if you have rode Flying Ace aerial trains at Kings Island, Battle Lagoon, or Flying Skull at Legoland, Florida, it's the same. The one I've done is Flying Ace, and I hated that thing. I will never ride that piece of garbage again, and I'll definitely skip this ride when I visit Carowinds. This does look the worst 342 model out there. It's probably a sign of crappy maintenance. The ride shakes like it's no tomorrow, and this coaster is just awful. So gladly going to number 12, this coaster has been cloned a bit. It's Woodstock Express. This is a PTC family coaster, and they have the same ride at my ex-home park, Kings Island, which I rode once, and there's one at Kings Dominion as well. This family coaster is the same description as Wilderness Run. It is what it is. It's a stepping stone coaster to get to the family coasters, but I have nothing else to say for this classic Woody. So for the next coaster placing 11th, this coaster is just horrendous, and it does sound like I'm complaining a lot, but these coasters are just not that good. But anyways, it's Vortex. This is the first B&M on the list, and it's the worst B&M overall. This is one of their stand-up coasters, and even converting it to a floorless coaster will not help it at all. The ride has a horrifying rattle, and the restraints are pretty uncomfortable and claustrophobic. And to add hydrogen peroxide to the scab, the layout is garbage. I would throw a party if this coaster gets removed. It sits on prime real estate. Even though I haven't ridden this piece of crap, it looks atrocious. Another atrocious ride is the Carolina Gold Rusher, which cracks the top 10. This is one of Arrow's mine train models, and this coaster sucks. It's not even the best Arrow mine train out there. That honor goes to Thunderation. But anyways, the ride hugs the ground, so pretty much what you're doing 90% of the time is gliding on a straight track right above the ground. This coaster looks boring as well. It just meanders throughout the entire ride. I'll definitely take this ride over Vortex any day. So staying with the family coaster genre, we're staying in North Carolina for Ricochet. This is a small mock Wild Mouse, and if you have ridden my home park's defunct Wild Mouse Sand Serpent, it's similar. You have a very small footprint, but this ride is okay. This is your run-of-the-mill Wild Mouse. This ride is infamous at this park for getting pretty long lines, but there's nothing else to say for this Wild Mouse, so we're staying on the north side once again with Carolina Cyclone. This is a small air looper, and this is the first roller coaster ever to feature 4 inversions, and this ride isn't that good. If you ride in the back, you get a tiny pop of airtime down the first drop, and you get dragged through the double loop, but you kinda get dragged in the double corkscrews, and that's pretty much it. The color scheme is easily one of the best by Arrow, but I didn't feel like it should be placed in the video in the card above. And here's a fun fact, the trains used to run on the defunct and missed coaster, Vortex. So for the next coaster, it's literally right next door to Carolina Cyclone. It's Hurler. This is one of 2 roller coasters that were built by International Coasters, and there's a reason. This ride is just boring. In the middle of the ride, it's a snooze fest. This can also have some shake to it as well, but in my opinion, it makes the ride a little bit more fun, which is great. This is better than Carolina Cyclone by a long shot, and this coaster overall is nothing to write home about. The next coaster on the list will be Flying Cobras of Vekoma Boomerang. This is one of few Vekoma boomerangs that actually has the new vest restraints, and this coaster used to operate at Geauga Lake in Ohio as Headspin, aka Mind Eraser. This is one of the better boomerangs because the vest restraints eliminate all headbanging, which is a plus, and the color scheme uses a beautiful color palette. But just like Carolina Cyclone, I didn't feel like it should be placed in the video I just showed in the card earlier, but it's up there. As for smoothness, not the smoothest out there. It has a shuffle. This coaster looks fine. So slowly going to South Carolina, this coaster is mostly on the north side, but a smidge of it is in South Carolina. It's Nighthawk. This is one of 2 Vekoma Flying Dutchmen that are still in operation, and there were 3 ever built. the other one being Batwing at Six Flags America. But this coaster looks alright. The ride is a little shaky, but it's not that bad. You also have the similar intensity compared with this and a B&M Flyer. The loop can be insane because it has a lot of deceptive positive Gs. I also like the placement, but that spot is a perfect place to add another coaster, so I'll be fine if they got rid of this coaster. So we are finally going to South Carolina for Copperhead Strike. This is one of a few mock multi-launch coasters that has been built, and this coaster is pretty great. I love the hang time you get on this coaster, especially with the JoJo roll. I've also heard the restraints on this coaster aren't that good. It's kinda hard to look past. Another negative thing that is hard to look past is the launch. Mock is notorious for making weak launches, and Copperhead is no different. But if you can pretend hard enough, it's like gliding on straight track. But a ride that does the exact opposite of that is Afterburn. This is one of the best B&M inverts because you have the intensity, trenches, the whip, a fantastic drop, and a nice theme and name. I also admire how the pacing is amazing. You get some fantastic whip over each element. The whip you get over the Batwing is crazy. The positive Gs just last much longer than you expect. This coaster looks amazing for a B&M invert, and Intimidator is going to be taking the next place spot at number 2. And this is a great B&M hyper. The airtime you get on this coaster is ambitious, but the layout not so ambitious. It's a normal B&M hyper layout, just towering parabolic airtime hills, a turnaround, and more parabolic airtime hills. The smoothness factor is actually kinda good, but not glossy though. This coaster also has a loose theme as well. This coaster looks so good, but it's not the best B&M here. That award goes to Fury325. I'm guessing at the beginning of the video you knew this was going to be first, but this coaster is top tier worldwide, and it's not hard to see why. The layout is easily one of the best Giga Coaster layouts. You have low to the ground maneuvers and amazing flow to airtime hills. The placement is also great. I love the little overbank over the front gate. It looks whippy. This also has a really good color scheme, and it's beautiful and breathtaking. This is high on my bucket list, and the placement on this coaster was a no-brainer. This is easily the best coaster at Carowinds. If you enjoyed this video, it would be help out if you gave this video a like, and make sure to subscribe as well. I upload every Saturday at noon in Eastern Time, so stay tuned every Saturday, and I apologize for the mic quality. So if you like this video, I have some more videos for you in the next couple seconds. So make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping, and thanks for watching.